Well, hi friends! Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Lala and I are here to talk to you about a book that we think is probably one of the best books of the summer so far, maybe even one of the best books of the entire year. I know I say that a lot, and it's really hard for me to narrow them down, which is why I do that big group of videos at the end of the year, really honing in on the best books. But honestly, I think this one is going to make the cut because it was phenomenal. And this type of book usually doesn't make the cut on my lists, not for any particular reason other than I really enjoy this genre, but it doesn't end up usually tending to be like my favorite out of all the different genres. So what book am I talking about? What book is this that is the best, one of the best books of the year so far, and do you think you should read it as well? Well, that book is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So obviously it's a book about books, and I'm going to just automatically love any book that is a book about books, right? For obvious reasons. So Emily Henry might sound familiar to you because she's written actually a lot of other books, but two books for adults that are the most familiar probably are going to be Beach Read and also People We Meet on Vacation. Both of them are actually, all three of them are like romantic comedies basically. But they're a lot more than that, this book especially. So I fell completely in love with Beach Reads when I read it when it first came out. I read People We Meet on Vacation last year when it came out and loved that one as well. So I was pretty excited for this one, but I didn't expect it to blow me away or just completely, astound me the way that it did. This book is fantastic. I cannot stress enough how much I love this book. I have been just giving it out like candy for everybody's birthdays. Like everybody is getting this book as a present because it is just, I want everyone to read it. It's so incredible. So what is it about? So yes, it is a romantic comedy, but it is so much more than that. And it is about this main character whose name is Nora, and she is a literary agent in New York City. And the way the book starts out is absolutely hilarious because if you've ever watched any Hallmark Christmas movies, or you've read a lot of rom-coms, or just are familiar with the romance genre in general, you recognize that there is a type of female character that always gets the guy in the end. It's always this plucky young heroine who is bubbly and fun and down to earth at the same time, and girl next door and stuff like that. And Nora starts us off with in the beginning of this book by letting us know she is not that character. She is the person that is usually the girlfriend in those stories, the uptight, cold, mean, work-driven, workaholic girlfriend that gets left for this other type of girl. In fact, many of her relationships have literally ended in that exact way, so which is hilarious. So if you think of the girlfriend type figure in these stories of the male protagonist who is just work driven and doesn't have time for, family and love and romance, and then gets dumped for the main character, that is who Nora is. But she's amazing. Yes, she is work driven, and she loves her job, and she loves her clients, and she loves doing a good job, and there's nothing wrong with that. But she's pretty much just written off ever finding her like happily ever after with a guy. So what she does also really care about is her younger sister, Libby. So she has looked after her sister, Libby, since their mom passed away when they were both younger. Libby was still in college, or high school, I'm sorry, when this happened. So they were both pretty young. So Nora has always looked after her sister, Libby. So she can't say no to her when her sister wants her to go with her on this sister's basically retreat vacation to South Carolina. Or is it North Carolina? It is North Carolina. So they go on this vacation to North Carolina, to this little town that is featured in a book series that her sister loves, that Nora actually is the agent for the author for, which is funny. And they go to this little town, which is a fixer-upper, to say the least. It's not anything like it was described in the books. And Libby has this like goal of this list of things that she wants to do. She wants to help a business succeed. She wants to get her sister to go out on these dates and all these different things that she wants. And Nora is just along for the ride, but is like, all right, whatever. I'm just doing it to appease my sister. So, but who she continues to run into down there is somebody she does not expect, which is this guy named Charlie, who is a editor. And he happens to be an editor who is very kind of a lot like her. He is a workaholic. He is very driven. He has this dry sense of humor. He is always on top of things and just professional and rigid and just not moving at all. And basically, in the beginning of this book, him, Charlie, and Nora have this run-in where they just get off on completely the wrong foot over this book thing, and they basically come away from it hating each other. Lo and behold, when Libby and Nora get down to North Carolina, they find that Charlie is in this town because his parents actually own the bookstore in the town. What? Can you believe it? So, of course, they keep crossing paths and, you know, against their better judgment, they start to kind of, you get to know each other more and sparks fly and so on and so forth. So, obviously, yes, this is a romantic comedy. It is hilarious, though. I laughed so hard so many times reading this book. Emily Henry is just the queen of banter and dialogue between characters. Like, the witty dialogue between Charlie and Nora was so perfect. I don't think I've ever read a book that had more perfect dialogue than this book. So good. The hilarity of it was amazing. I loved Nora as a character, but I also really love, there's a lot to do with Nora unpacking a lot of her history from growing up, and also, you know, her relationship with Libby and how that has formed her as a person. So there is a lot to do with family in this book, and family structure and family relationships. So many things in this book that are just worthwhile. The writing was phenomenal. If you are just looking for a really well-written book that is hilarious, that is a little bit spicy, that is just so much fun to read, but also has a lot of deeper aspects as well, please read Book Lovers. I promise you are not going to regret it. One of the best books of the year, and definitely one of the best books of the summer. Book Lovers. Well, that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope that you are just as excited to read this book as I am to talk about it all the time. If so, please feel free to come and get it from Farmington Community Library. And also, please give this video a like. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful rest of the day.